We're the ones you've heard about.
Millennials.
Demanding.
Self-absorbed.
Or so you've been told.
The truth is, we care deeply about our country.
About lower taxes.
Good jobs.
And not inheriting a lifetime of debt.
Care about the future. So it's time to stand up for it.
And we're ready to make history.
So I'm voting for the first time.
I'm voting for Marco.
I'm voting for Marco.
And I'm voting for Marco.
We're voting for a new American century. We're voting for Marco Rubio.
I'm Marco Rubio, and I approve of this message.
So there's Republican presidential candidate Marco Rubio making an appeal for the millennial vote with his new television ad. According to our next guest, this is working. So what's behind Marco's growing support with younger voters? For more, we welcome from Newsmax Washington, Erin Stewart, who is the mayor of New Britain, Connecticut. At 28, she is the youngest big city mayor in the country. She's also leading Newsmax's list of 30 most influential Republicans, 30 and under. Our survey of the rising generation of GOPers across our nation. Mayor Stewart, welcome to Newsmax Prime. It's great to have you.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Erin, let's get down to brass tacks. I understand you were once a supporter of Jeb Bush, but that's changed, and now you're all in for Rubio. Why?
Yeah, sure thing, JD. You know, I started off as a big Bush supporter, but this was last year when speculation was still, everyone thought that Jeb would be the front runner all the way through. My, how things change. That seems pretty normal, though. We're looking at a lot of things changing over the last couple of months, as with any presidential race. Except for the Democratic race, there's not really too many options there, but at least in the Republican field, Marco just appeals to so many younger people, but like-minded Republicans like myself. You know, I'm definitely much more of a moderate conservative, definitely conservative on fiscal issues, but socially liberal. And I think Marco shares a lot of those same ideologies that I do. And I really think that he has the ability to bring together both parties and work together for the betterment of the nation and not just for himself.
So in your mind and with fellow millennials, what do you believe are the major issues you confront generationally, and why is Marco the man?
You know, I mean, if you're talking generationally, you look at a lot of young people, what do a lot of young people care about? They care about paying for college. It's extremely expensive. Look, I've been out of college for how many years now, and I'm still paying off that debt. Even with a job like mayor of a big city, I'm still stuck with that debt. That's what young people care about. They also care about stability. They want to know that the jobs are there for them when they get out of college. We want an America that has jobs available for a lot of young people, people that are getting trained in the workforce and have opportunities. I really think that Marco Rubio understands that. I think that he has an ability to relate a lot more to a younger generation than many of the other candidates, and it's difficult to find that in politics nowadays.
Well, a minute 30 remains, Erin, and there was another one-time mayor of a smaller city than the one you represent, Wasilla, Alaska, a lady named Sarah Palin, who yesterday endorsed Donald Trump. Now, what do you think of that endorsement, and might that resonate with young voters?
I really don't think that's going to resonate with young voters all that much. I mean, Sarah Palin certainly has a base, and that's what Donald Trump is going for. He's appealing to that Tea Party base. That does still follow Sarah Palin. But I think that the average voter, I mean, you have to look at it this way. We understand right now that they're vying for the Republican nomination. So they have to be pretty far right to an extent to make sure that they're going to capture all those voters. However, when it comes down to it in a general election, you've got to be more moderate, because that's what the average American is looking for. So you have to be a little bit smarter about how you're going to win the bigger picture, and that's not to isolate yourself now from being able to capture more moderate ideologies later on.
Fair enough.
I really think
Fair
that...
enough. Unfortunately, time is running out, but I hear what you're saying.
Right.
May not agree completely, but look, we hope you'll come back sometime soon, Mayor Erin Stewart, and we'll continue the conversation. Thanks very much. You heard what Erin had to say. Agree or disagree with that moderation approach? Why don't you let me know? And here's how you can let me know. Send your comments to newsmaxtv.com/comments. When we come back, more on this presidential campaign as our political panel takes a closer look. So stay with us.